Are NBA fans as diehard as football fans or baseball fans? I think they kind of are because, some of the games, like especially like the playoff games, the atmospheres look absolutely insane. I remember there was one particular playoff game. It was the OKC. I can't remember who they were playing, but it was the team with Westbrook, KD, Steve Adams. The atmosphere looked electric, and I've always had a soft spot for the OKC, but I still haven't picked a team, so I need to decide which team I'm going to go with. So I'm hoping this is going to help me boil it down.
Lakers. Laker fans are known to be really annoying. This is because they think the league revolves around them since they're the most popular team. The franchise is also spoiled. They've gone from Jerry West to Wilt Chamberlain to Kareem to Magic to Shaq to Kobe to LeBron to Luka. They never don't have a top 5 player. They also think they're going to get every star who becomes even semi-available, and half the time, they actually do end up with that player. They're also known to overrate their player. Kevin Durant available? We'll send you Rui and Jordan Goodwin. Giannis available? We'll give you Finney Smith and Gabe Vincent. And just when it seems like their window is closing, LeBron turns 40. What happened? They somehow get the most untouchable player in the history of basketball, Luka. This is why people don't really like Laker fans. They always get everyone and claim they suffered in the Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram era, and when all that happened is they turned those players into a ring. So yeah, the Lakers, annoying. Celtic.
How did the Lakers get Doncic? I mean, that has to be because what did the Lakers give up? They gave up AD, didn't they? Like, who was always injured. How did they get Doncic for AD? Like, someone explain that to me, please.
Fans are known for being condescending. It's because they act like they've mastered basketball and everyone else is just trying to catch up. They just won their 18th title, and you'd think they discovered fire. They treat every game like it's a history lesson, reminding everyone about their banners, their legends, and their so-called greatness. Even if they lose, like they did to Miami, they brush it off like it's no big deal. We'll be fine, they say, as if every other team isn't dreaming of the success they take for granted. They also love to brag about their records. Most three-pointers in a season? Of course, they'll say, like it was always meant to happen. Injuries? Never their fault. If Brown's knee or Porzingis' nose slows them down, they just say they're unbeatable when healthy. And they love to argue their current team is better than last year's, even if the numbers say otherwise. This is why people find Celtics fans condescending. They act like they're above everyone else, because deep down, they think they are. Knicks fans are...
Who is the legend? Larry something? Back in the 80s he played. Oh, God. You know the guy I'm talking about? Like, that time that made... I think Boston were the dominant team at that time. Who is that player?
Confused, because their team's acting like two different teams at once. One day, they're smacking the Nets by 25 points. And the next, they're losing to the Pistons like it's the 1970s.
Wow.
The roster looks strong, with Jalen Brunson dropping almost 28 points a game. Karl Anthony Towns dominating the paint, and Bridges and OG locking it down on both ends. But somehow, they keep slipping against teams they should destroy. Fans don't know if they should celebrate or panic.
Wow, so they're kind of like Arsenal in the sense that we're doing really well, but we just can't seem to beat the teams that we're expected to win the big trophies. Interesting.
It shows every single game. They've got this habit of getting hyped after a big win, then instantly melting down after a weird loss. 1 second they're yelling finals run, and the next they're ranting about Tibbs rotations. They'll defend Brunson like he's already in the Hall of Fame, then question why Miles McBride's glued to the bench. They love to talk about this team's grit, but deep down, they're nervous because they've seen this movie before. They want to believe they're contenders, but there's always that voice in the back of their head saying, "Are we really?" Nuggets. Nuggets fans are super statistical.
So the Knicks, they're kind of on the cusp of glory a lot of the time, but they don't quite make it over. Is that a fair assessment of the Knicks?
Because their entire world basically revolves around Nikola Jokic's number. He's out there averaging almost 30 points, 13 rebounds, and over 10 assists while shooting over 62%. And fans treat every single game like they're reading from a calculator.
Crazy
when he
record.
dropped 31 points, 21 rebounds and 22 assists against Phoenix, they lost their minds. And honestly, I get it. No one else is doing this stuff, so they cling to the numbers like it's their family photo album. They know exactly how many times Jokic touches the ball every game, and they love pointing out that almost half of Denver's points come from him scoring or passing. Anytime the Nuggets win, fans break down the numbers like they're presenting evidence in court. He went 13 for 17, plus 14 in 37 minutes. And if they lose, it's always minus 20 without him. Save this man. They do it because Jokic flipped the whole franchise. Before him, Denver was forgettable. Now, every Jokic stat feels like another badge of honor. Nuggets fans breathe box scores. Simple as that. By the way, if you guys want to subscribe, I'm going to start posting every day. Thanks.
Is it fair to say that Jokic is the best player in the league right now? Like, is he the best player in the league? I mean, he's still kind of young. He's putting up crazy numbers. I think Denver just won a championship either last year or the year before. So is he the best in the league?
Anyways, Heat fans are completely delusional because they genuinely think every single season ends with them in the finals. Right now, they're sitting at 36 and 41, barely hanging on to 9th in the East. And somehow, they still believe they're going on a deep playoff run. They traded Jimmy Butler to the Warriors, and instead of admitting the season's cooked, they're hyping up Tyler Hero like he's prime D-Wade. Hero's putting up over 20 points a game, and fans act like that alone's gonna carry them to the conference finals. They love to scream about Heat culture like it's a cheat code. Anytime they beat a good team, like their big win over Boston, they flood the internet saying the Heat are back. When they lose to teams like Cleveland, they just call it an off night and move on. They keep bragging about Bam's defense and their coaching like it covers every hole in the roster.
Wow, he's still there, this guy. Wasn't he there when LeBron was at the Heat? LeBron, Wade, and Chris Bosh, they were like the big three, weren't they, at the time?
Even with their draft pick situation looking messy, they'll still say they're reloading, not rebuilding. Heat fans just refuse to believe they're anything but contenders. Thunder fans are lucky because they somehow pulled off the impossible. They lost Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook, and still ended up with Shea leading a contender. Most teams would collapse after losing 3 MVPs, but not the Thunder. Instead, they flipped Paul George for Shea and a mountain of picks, and now they're sitting at 62 and 15, leading the West like it's just another Tuesday.
Wow, so there's a good chance OKC might go to the finals. Like, wow, okay.
Fans know this is ridiculous, and they love to remind everyone just how well things worked out. Shea is out here averaging almost 33 points a game, and Thunder fans treat it like they hit the jackpot. He's got multiple 50-point games, and every time he goes off, fans start saying he's doing more than Durant ever did in Oklahoma City. They've also got Jalen Williams putting up over 20 points, Chet making plays all over the floor, and a stash of draft picks that feels endless. Thunder fans are lucky because they didn't just survive losing their stars. They came out even stronger, and they're not afraid to say it. Warriors.
KD. Has KD ever been forgiven for, going to not OKC, from going to the Warriors? I mean, those chips that he won at the Warriors, it's like, he join like a winning team already? Like, if he stayed, where was he before? Was he at the Thunder, I think? If he stayed there and won a championship there, is it fair to say it would be worth more than the championships he won at the Warriors? Do you see where I'm coming from? Or am I being harsh towards KD?
Warriors fans are entitled because they treat winning like it's their personal tradition. They act like anything less than a championship is a disaster. They added Jimmy Butler at the deadline, went 19-3 with him and Steph Curry, and now fans basically expect another title, like it's already in the bag. Curry drops 52 points on Memphis, and fans are everywhere saying stuff like, "This is why we're the dynasty, nobody touches us." They act like this is just how life works for them. Before the Curry era, the Warriors were barely a footnote, but now they've got Butler, Draymond Green, and fans treat it like it's their birthright. Even when they lose, they just brush it off, saying their depth and stars will save the day. They see every Curry milestone, like his 4,003, as a sign of destiny. Warriors.
4,000 three-point shots is insane. That guy, is he the best long-range shooter in the league ever? Is he better than, who's the other really great shooter? Magic Johnson, he was a good shooter. The guy who was great from the corner, I can't remember his name.
Fans are entitled because they expect greatness every season, and anything less feels like the universe is broken. Mavs fans are sad because they watched their entire future get shipped off to Los Angeles. Luka, their superstar, and pretty much the only reason they woke up in the morning, got traded for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a far-off pick. Luka wasn't just a player, he was their hope for the next decade. He dragged them to the finals, nearly averaged a triple-double in the playoffs. And now, he's running the show in Los Angeles, while Mavs fans sit around wondering how it all fell apart so fast. To make it worse, Anthony Davis barely lasted 31 minutes before getting hurt, because of course he did. Kyrie Irving.
Anthony Davis has to be one of the most injury-prone players I've ever seen in the league. I don't watch the NBA a huge amount, but I watch it enough to realize he's like injured most of the time, isn't he? He's definitely missed more games than he's played in his career, right?
Tore his ACL and is done for the season. The injuries just keep stacking up. Gafford, Lively, Washington. Everyone's falling apart. Fans are looking at their lineup and thinking it's a cruel joke. The team's barely clinging to a play-in spot, while Luka's out there dropping triple-doubles like it's nothing. Mavs fans are sad because they didn't just lose their star, they lost their soul. And every game feels like watching a dream die. Sixers.
Ouch.
Sixers fans are patient because they've basically been forced to be. This is a fan base that sat through the process, watching their team lose on purpose just to collect draft picks.
They lost on purpose? I mean, that should be like illegal, shouldn't it? Like tanking on purpose just so you can get a better draft pick. Come on.
Suffered through 10-win seasons, knowing the payoff was supposed to come later. And when they finally got Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, it felt like their patience was paying off, until it wasn't. Simmons refused to shoot, melted down in the playoffs, and eventually forced his way out. Fans waited years for him to become a star, and he just never did. Then there's Embiid. He's incredible when healthy, but that's always the catch. This season alone, he's barely played, and fans are stuck watching him sit while the team falls apart. Add in injuries to Jared McCain and Tyrese Maxey, having to carry way too much. And it's no wonder Sixers fans feel like they're always waiting. They've waited for picks to pan out, for Simmons to grow up, and for Embiid's body to hold together. Sixers fans are patient because they don't have a choice. Ooh. They've been living in wait mode forever. Wizards fans are
Yeah, Ben Simmons, man, that was just so disappointing. I remember reading that they gave him like a max contract as well. Like they really thought he was going to come good. They really, really believed in him.
Because every single thing about this team feels cursed. They're stuck with the worst record in the league at 17-60. And it's not even a fun kind of bad. They've lost 16 games in a row twice this season. And fans are out here posting stuff like, we're not just bad, we're cursed forever. Even the dream of tanking feels hopeless, since the lottery odds are flattened. And knowing their luck, they'll probably fall out of the top 3. The injuries have been brutal too. Bilal Coulibaly, who was actually giving them hope, tore his hamstring and is done for the year. Marcus Smart came over at the deadline, but he's barely played. And when he does, he's ice cold from the field. Malcolm Brogdon's body is basically falling apart. Kyle Kuzma got traded for Chris Middleton, but Middleton's been shooting bricks and limping around like it's over. Wizards fans feel trapped because the rebuild already looks like it's falling apart. They're watching broken trades, injured players, and losses pile up like clockwork. It's misery from every direction. Bucks fans are
God, it must be so hard for teams to rebuild from scratch because you're basically just you're just hoping that some of the picks come good, like that you draft a Steph Curry, you know, like an uncut gem. You know, you're just praying that someone comes good.
Because they've hitched their entire hope to Giannis and never let go. No matter what's going on around him, they trust Giannis will carry them through anything. This season's been a mess at times. Bad start, roster shakeups, injury. But Giannis keeps showing up like a machine. He's averaging over 31 points, nearly 12 rebounds, and almost 6 assists. And fans treat every game like proof they're still in the hunt. Even when the team opened with 1 win and 6 losses, fans stayed locked in, saying Giannis would figure it out. And sure enough, he's battling through injuries himself, like that left foot sprain, and still dropping 37 points against the Suns like it's nothing. Add in his loyalty. He's flat out said he's not asking for a trade, and Bucks fans have all the reason in the world to believe.
Giannis, he honestly is carrying that franchise from what I can see on his back. Is that fair to say? Like he could, if he was at a stronger team, he'd probably have multiple championships by now. Like he would for sure have more than one.
See Giannis as the foundation, the constant, the unstoppable force. To them, it doesn't matter what the standings say or who's hurt. As long as Giannis is out there, they believe anything's possible. Rockets, Rockets fans are needy because half of them treat every single superstar rumor like it's a lifeline. The moment any big name even hints at being unhappy, this fan base lights up like they're ready to send the entire roster in a trade. They finally got a young core that's looking strong, made the playoffs for the first time in years, and yet fans act like it's not good enough unless they land the next shiny superstar. Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun, Jabari Smith, all under 25, all showing real promise, and still half the fan base is begging for a trade.
I remember when the Rockets had James Harden and Russ. I think they had them on the same roster, didn't they? I thought the Rockets were for sure going to win a championship, but they just never put it together, did they?
They're starving. What's wild is this team.
Has James Harden won a championship in his whole career? If not, that's a shame, isn't it?
Finished second in the West. They've proven they can win without rushing into desperation moves. But the moment the Rockets lose a game, the trade machine gets fired up. Some fans want patience to let this group grow and see if they can deliver in the playoff. Others want instant gratification. Rockets fans are needy because no matter how good things look, they're always searching for something bigger instead of enjoying what's already building. Suns fans are crazy because they treat Devin Booker like he's the answer to every single problem, no matter what. Booker becomes the franchise's all-time leading scorer, and fans act like that alone guarantees a title. He's loyal, he's electric, and Suns fans believe, with everything in them, that he's carrying them to the promised land. Even when the roster around him is crumbling, they've got full faith that Booker can do it all by himself if he has to. When the team traded for Bradley Beal, fans were hyped, like they just won the lottery. But once the season started slipping, some flipped completely, blaming Beal and saying he ruined the team. His no-trade clause.
Honestly, it's so funny how people just turn on players so quickly.
And relaxed attitude during tough stretches drove them nuts. And then there's Kevin Durant. Fans are so split, it's chaos. Some want to keep him forever, while others are actually calling to trade him and build entirely around Booker. Suns fans are crazy because they swing from celebration to meltdown in seconds, living and dying with every move.
I feel like building a team around one superstar to win a championship today is just really, really hard, unless that superstar is like Steph Curry in his prime. But even he had like Klay Thompson, in his prime. He had, other strong players. I remember he had Iguodala as well coming off the bench. He had Draymond Green in his prime. You can't just have one player and hope to win with that one player. Otherwise, you end up like, Giannis really, and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Vince Booker is the one to save it all. Timberwolves fans are ride or die because no matter what this team puts them through, they never even think about jumping ship. This is a franchise with barely any playoff success since they started, but you'd never know it from the way their fans show up every single time.
Wow.
During their huge Game 7 in 2024, hundreds of fans packed into a beer garden just to watch it on a screen, like their lives depended on it. That's dedication you just do not see everywhere. Anthony Edwards has turned this loyalty into full-blown belief.
He is so fun to watch, Anthony Edwards. I really enjoy watching this guy play basketball. His dunks, he's just very dynamic. Kind of reminds me a little bit of young LeBron.
He's electric on the court, and fans treat him like the hero they've waited their whole lives for. Even when the team traded Karl Anthony Towns, a player they'd supported for years, fans stayed locked in. They didn't panic, they doubled down. Though some did freak out, but Timberwolves fans are ride or die because they've lived through every heartbreak, every roster change, and every painful season, and they still show up loud and proud. They believe in this team no matter what, because for them, it's never been about ease. It's about loyalty. Bulls fans are passionate because their love for this team runs way deeper than wins and losses. The Jordan era built a legacy so strong that even decades later, fans still pack the United Center like it's the 90s all over again.
Dude, that documentary, The Last Dance, did so much for the Bulls in this country and just basketball as a whole. I'm willing to bet that documentary, The Last Dance, increased NBA interest in the UK like 100%, like it doubled it probably overnight.
They call it the Madhouse on Madison for a reason. The energy inside is unreal, no matter what the standings say. Even during the rough years, fans never quit. During the pandemic, almost all of them kept the faith, showing they're locked in no matter what. This fan base is worldwide too. The Bulls are always near the top in merchandise sales and global viewership, proof that their impact never faded. They live for moments like Derrick Rose's jersey retirement in January 2025, which hit every emotional note for fans who see him as a hometown legend. They also celebrated the team's first Ring of Honor, honoring their greats and deepening that bond. Bulls fans are passionate because they care about everything. Every draft pick, every trade, every piece of history. Win or lose, they bleed Bulls red every single day. Cavs.
Who was the more athletic point guard in their prime, Derrick Rose or Russell Westbrook? For me, if I had to pick who was the most athletic, explosive PG ever, for me, it's Russell, man. Russell Westbrook's, his dunk catalog is ridiculous. Like, Derrick Rose is probably number 2, but I'm going with Russ. What do you think?
Cavs fans are grateful because they've seen it all, and right now feels like the reward for every rough season they've survived. It all started when they drafted LeBron James back in 2003, their hometown hero from Akron. He didn't just put Cleveland on the map, he ended their 52-year championship drought with that unforgettable title in 2016. That moment is carved into the hearts of every single fan who stuck around through the dark times. Fast forward to now, and the Cavs are the number 1 seed in the East with a 62-16 record. Fans are loving every second of it. They've got a stacked squad with Donovan Mitchell lighting it up, Darius Garland running the show, and big men Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen controlling the paint. Even DeAndre Hunter's addition has made them deeper and tougher. Under new coach Kenny Atkinson, they lead the league in offensive rating and play with balance all over the floor. Cavs fans are grateful because they've gone from heartbreak to hope, and now they're chasing another title, Magic. Magic fans are basically...
That series, the Cavs versus Golden State, I think where the Cavs were down, I think they were down 3-1 in the series, and they came back to win it, if I remember correctly, was probably, out of the few series I've watched, the most just amazing. What a comeback by the Cavs. LeBron, for sure, best player in the world at that time, for sure. I mean, is there any argument against that? I'd love to read it.
Really non-existent, because outside of Orlando, it feels like no one even remembers this team exists. Sure, the arena fills up pretty well, but let's be honest, a big chunk of that is tourists who just wanted something to do after Disney World. The team's got some young talent, and they've made a little noise, but you'd never know it scrolling through social media. Compared to the energy other fan bases bring, the Magic's online presence feels like shouting into an empty gym. Even when they finally put together a decent season, it barely moves the needle. Their subreddit exists, but it feels more like a support group than a rowdy fan base. You'll see the same dozen loyal fans posting game threads and hoping for wins, but it never really catches fire. The truth is, the Magic could win 10 in a row and half the basketball world wouldn't notice. Magic fans are non-existent because they've got a team that barely makes headlines. And even when things are going right, it feels like no one's really paying attention. Clippers fans are...
So even if they were to like go on an absolute tear, it would probably take them winning the championship before they get any kind of attention, real attention. Oh my God. So are they kind of like a feeder club where, you know, a player goes there, does well, gets acquired by a bigger team?
Hungry because they've spent their entire lives waiting for that first championship, and it still hasn't come. Since the team started in 1970, they've been stuck in this 54-year drought, watching other teams celebrate while they just keep hoping. Even in Los Angeles, they're constantly overshadowed by the Lakers, which only makes their hunger burn hotter. They've built contender after contender, and still, the trophy case is empty. Fans are desperate to finally break through. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George were supposed to be the guys to get it done.
Yeah, I thought for sure, because Kawhi went there after he won it with the Portland Trailblazers, didn't he? You know, I thought for sure they were going to win a championship together, these two.
Every playoff run feels like it could be the one. Clippers fans don't just want a title, they need it. They've ridden out relocations, injuries, heartbreak, and every disappointment you can imagine. And still, they show up, loud and loyal, because they believe this could be the year. Clippers fans are hungry because they've waited forever, and they're starving for the moment when they finally get to celebrate. Trailblazers fans are loyal because no matter how tough it gets, they never turn their backs on this team. They've been ride or die since the 70s, when Blazer Mania took over Portland and never really left. Even during brutal stretches like the early 2000s, when the team was falling apart on and off the court, fans kept showing up.
Is Damian Lillard still at the Portland Trailblazers? Is he still there? If he is, he's been there for like 10 years at this point, right?
Sure, attendance dipped a bit, but the passion never disappeared. These fans are built for the long haul. Even now, deep in a rebuild, are still packing the arena. Last season, they finished with a losing record, but still averaged over 18,000 fans at home games.
Wow.
In a small market like Portland, that means everything. Players actually feel the love, because in this city, the team and the fans are like family. From the glory days of their lone championship to the grind of today, Rip City fans keep the energy alive. Trailblazers fans are loyal because through every high, every low, and every painful rebuild, they've stayed true to their team without blinking. Grizzlies fans,
man, they deserve a championship, these guys. I want them to get it, you know. I just love it when small teams who nobody expects to win. It just is so satisfying. Am I the only person that feels that way?
are gritty because they built their whole identity on toughness and heart. Back in the early 2000s, the grit and grind era took over Memphis, and the fans embraced it like it was part of their DNA. Guys like Tony Allen, Zach Randolph, Marc Gasol, and Mike Conley turned defense and hustle into an art form, and the fans matched that same energy every single night. Tony Allen especially became a fan favorite, locking down superstars and proudly calling himself the Grind Father. Even today, that gritty attitude lives on in the crowd. The growl towels are always flying in playoff games, and the whoop that trick chants shake the whole arena like a rally cry. Fans in Memphis show up loud and fearless, no matter what the standings say. They've stuck with the team through injuries, tough playoff exits, and growing pains because they see the fight in their players and bring the same fire themselves. Grizzlies fans are gritty because just like their team, they never back down, never stop pushing, and take pride in every single battle. Pistons.
Dude, seeing that picture of Kobe, I still can't believe he's dead. Like, I cannot believe it. Like, ridiculous, honestly. So young. What was he, like, mid-40s?
Pistons fans are finally happy because after a decade of pure misery, they've got a team that's actually fun to watch. For years, they were stuck at the bottom of the standings, getting clowned as the NBA's punching bag. Last season, they finished with just 14 wins, and fans were begging for something, anything, to change. Now with a 43-35 record, they've locked up their first winning season since 2016.
Wow,
and the energy in Detroit is electric.
years.
It all started when they brought in Trajan Langdon to run the front office and hired J.B. Bickerstaff as head coach. The culture flipped overnight. Cade Cunningham has been the star fans were dreaming about, finally making his first All-Star team while averaging nearly 26 points and over 9 assists. Add in veterans like Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik Beasley, and the Pistons suddenly have balance and leadership. Fans who spent years watching blowouts are now watching playoff clinchers. Pistons fans are finally happy because they've gone from hopeless to hopeful, and for the first time in forever, the future feels bright. Nets fans.
Man, the NBA season is long. How many games are there? Like, so, you know, the Pistons, they've just had a 45-36 season. So that's 80 games. That's a lot of games, man.
Are lost because their team feels like it's wandering with no map and no destination. A few years ago, they were dreaming of titles with Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and James Harden. Now they're stuck with a 19-58 record, tied for the worst in the league. And it feels like no one knows what the plan is anymore. They traded Bridges to the Knicks for picks, although some fans loved it. But injuries have only made things worse. Cam Thomas, their top scorer, missed time with a hamstring strain, and even when he's out there, he's not the same. Nick Claxton's been a bright spot, but he's battled injuries too. D'Angelo Russell came back from the Lakers, but of course, he got hurt almost immediately. Every time they try to build momentum, it falls apart. Trades keep stacking up, but none of them feel like they're leading anywhere. Nets fans are lost because they've gone from chasing championships to chasing lottery odds. And right now, nothing makes sense. Pelicans fans are suffering.
Is it me or are injuries a lot more common now than they were before? You know, like compared to the previous eras, like the 80s and 90s, where the game was probably a lot more physical in terms of what was allowed by the refs. Is it me or are players more fragile now? Or if I'm wrong, let me know, but I don't think so.
Because every time they think this team's finally about to take off, it all collapses. Zion Williamson is the biggest reason for the pain. When he plays, he's unstoppable, dropping over 24 points a game on crazy efficiency, throwing down dunks like he's in a video game, and racking up triple doubles without breaking a sweat. But he just cannot stay on the floor. His season ended early again with a back injury, and fans are left watching highlights while he rehabs. wondering what could have been. The injuries have been brutal across the board. CJ McCollum went down, Murray tore his Achilles, and Trey Murphy and Herb Jones both had surgery. It's like the whole roster fell apart at once.
Yikes.
Even with all that talent, they've crashed to a 20-57 record.
Is Lonzo Ball still with the New Orleans team, or has he been traded somewhere else?
Fans feel cursed, watching a team built for the playoff crumble into a lottery team. Pelicans fans are suffering because they've got a star who shines bright but flickers out too fast, and a season full of injuries that's crushed their hope yet again. Pacers fans might be corn because they're literally only from Indiana, because no one outside the state seems to care or even notice they exist. This is Indiana's team through and through. Basketball runs deep in the state, from giant high school gyms to legends like Reggie Miller, and Pacers fans treat the team like it's part of their DNA. With Tyrese Halliburton hooping, sometimes the fan base is fired up, but mostly in Indiana. Outside the borders, crickets. They're a small market team with small market reach. Their games are tough to find on national TV, and their attendance barely cracks the top 20 in the league.
That's so weird. I would have thought all teams would get coverage, because how are the supporters supposed to watch the games? Or at least, can you watch all games on some kind of online platform, like an NBA platform officially?
People in nearby cities like Louisville lean more toward college teams or the Colts. Most Pacers fans have some Indiana tie, whether it's growing up in the state or having family there. They celebrate every win like a state holiday, because for them it is. Pacers fans are literally only from Indiana because their loyalty is local, their passion is homegrown, and the rest of the world just isn't watching. Hawks fans are in pain because this season feels like the cruelest joke imaginable. They came in with hopes of a playoff push, and instead, they kinda suck. It's brutal to watch, especially since Trae Young is still out here, putting up over 23 points and 15 assists.
Man, he's been playing for so long, this guy, Trae Young. He's been in the league for 10 years, at least at this point, right?
Games like their wild win over Utah. But even with Trae doing everything he can, the roster around him has fallen to pieces. The injuries have been nonstop. Jalen Johnson was having a breakout year before his season-ending labrum tear. Larry Nance Jr. went down, and Clint Capella still sidelined with a hand injury. Okongwu's knee troubles just pile on, and if that wasn't enough, the trades gutted whatever depth they had left. DeAndre Hunter got sent to Cleveland. Bogdan's gone too, and the returns haven't done much. Hawks fans are in pain because their team went from conference finals dreams to a nightmare, watching injuries and bad trades destroy a season that never even had a chance. Shout out Dyson Daniels though. Hornets fans.
Man, someone needs to investigate all these injuries. What's going on? Because it just robs not only the players of being on the court, but the fans. We don't get to see them perform and do their thing.
Fans are irrelevant because outside of Charlotte, no one really talks about them, and honestly, most people forget they exist until LaMelo Ball pulls off a flashy pass. In North Carolina, basketball pride runs deep, but it's all about Duke, North Carolina, and high school gyms, bigger than some pro arenas. The Hornets get buried under that, stuck fighting for attention in their own backyard. When big teams like the Lakers or Celtics roll through, their fans take over the arena like it's a home game, and Hornets fans just have to sit there and take it. They've got history, sure. People still remember the teal and purple from the 90s, and guys like
that jersey was beautiful. Love that color.
Muggsy and Alonzo Mourning, but that buzz never really made it past state lines. They're not loud enough to stir up league-wide debate, and they're not winning enough to demand respect. Even when LaMelo lights it up, he's fighting for highlights against bigger names. Hornets fans are irrelevant because their loyalty stays trapped inside Charlotte, while the rest of the league barely notices they're even there.
Is Michael Jordan still a part owner of the Hornets? I think he was, wasn't he, at one point?
Kings fans are devoted because they've stuck with this team through everything, no matter how bleak it's gotten. Sacramento isn't a city full of casual fans hopping on the latest trend. This is a small market town where the Kings are the heartbeat and every game feels personal. Back in 2013, when there were serious talks about the team moving to Seattle, fans rallied like their entire identity was on the line. They fought hard, kept the team in town, and built Golden One Center like it was a monument to their loyalty. They've survived endless losing seasons and draft lottery heartbreaks, but fans never bailed. They kept packing the arena, clanging cowbells, and showing up with a fire that never faded. Even when bigger markets get the spotlight, Kings fans don't care. They're in it for their team, not the headlines. Lighting the beam after wins has become...
Wow, look how cool this stadium looks. This looks insane.
Their symbol, a bright purple statement that belongs to them alone. Kings fans are devoted because they've made this team part of who they are, and no matter what, they're never letting go. Spurs fans are quiet because they've been trained by years of steady success to keep their voices low and their expectations high. They're not the type to flood social media with hot takes or chant in every timeline. They'd rather let the game do the talking. Back in the Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu days, they collected 5 titles without turning it into a circus. The fans loved every second of it, but they didn't feel the need to shout it from the rooftops. Their attitude's simple. The banners are already hanging.
This is the thing. When you win as much as they have, you don't need to yell and scream, because you know what you are. Like, you're just a winner. Like 5 chips, that just look at this. That speaks for itself, doesn't it?
But what's left to prove? Being from a small market like San Antonio just adds to this quiet confidence. Fans are fiercely loyal, but they're not chasing attention. They enjoy watching stars like Victor Wembanyama develop, appreciating every...
He is an anomaly, that guy. What is he, like 7'5", 7'6"? And he moves like he's a foot shorter. Like, he's so nimble. It's crazy.
Block and smooth three-pointer without begging for national headlines. Rivals love to poke fun, saying Spurs fans are so quiet, you forget they exist. But the fans just shrug it off. Spurs fans are quiet because they don't care about the noise. They know greatness doesn't need to be loud to be legendary. Raptors fans are worried because they've seen what the top of the mountain looks like, and now they're scared they might be sliding back down into obscurity. Ever since that championship, when Kawhi Leonard hit the shot heard around the world, there's been this lingering anxiety about whether they could ever reach those heights again. With Kawhi gone, almost instantly, they've pinned their hopes on Scotty Barnes. And while he's blossomed into a do-it-all force, fans still can't shake the fear he might not be enough to carry the whole franchise. The roster moves have only added to the nerves. Trading away Pascal and OG for younger pieces felt like waving the white flag on the old core.
Oh yeah, Pascal Siakam, great player.
And now the fan base is left clinging to guys like RJ Barrett and Quickly, hoping they'll develop into stars. Every draft pick, every injury, every front office decision feels way bigger than it should. Raptors fans are worried because they know what it feels like to be champions, and the thought of fading back into the middle of the pack keeps them restless. Jazz fans are heartbroken because they watched their golden era slip right through their fingers. They had it all not long ago. Donovan Mitchell lighting up defenses, Rudy Gobert locking down the paint, and the dream of finally breaking through. Fans still feel the sting of blowing that 2-0 lead to the Clippers in the playoffs, knowing that team had the firepower to go all the way. Then the trades came, and just like that, their core was scattered. Mitchell's a star in Cleveland, Gobert's anchoring Minnesota, and Utah fans are left clutching memories instead of banners. It hurts even more because this is a fan base that lives and breathes their team. The Jazz are the heartbeat of Utah, and fans poured everything into believing that Mitchell-Gobert duo was their path to redemption. Now, they're watching from a distance as their old stars thrive elsewhere. Jazz fans are heartbroken because they've lost more than players. They've lost a shot at glory, and no amount of draft picks can fill that void. All they're left with is the echo of what could have been. Oh yeah, and Michael Jordan broke their heart every year. If you enjoyed this,
great video. I'm still torn as to who to go for. Front runners might be the Knicks, just because they have a lot of similarities to the football team I support, Arsenal, in terms of like always being close, winning big games, but then losing to teams that they just have no business losing against, not quite being able to win the trophy. But then, there's other teams as well that kind of speak to me a little bit, like Orlando Magic. The fact that nobody cares at all about them, but they're just still there doing their thing, young team, grinding, maybe even the Clippers, the fact that they're, they've got that chip on their shoulder, that they're under the shadow of the Lakers. A team like that, like an underdog that nobody expects, because eventually they will win the league, and then it will be like the biggest thing ever. Like, remember when the team, Kawhi's team in Canada, took the Raptors. Remember when they won the championship, how big that was? It will happen. So I'm not sure. I need you guys' help. Who do I pick as my team? Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, I'm going to link a similar one just below, and I'll see you there.